The luxury market is saturated with fuel-thirsty SUVs, but for those who still want the utility of an SUV but don't want to use as much gas, there are new models like the Mercedes-Benz GLK that try to fill that gap. The reason a lot of people like Mercedes-Benz is the way they ride and they handle. A C-Class, an E-Class, well, they're really very impressive. Great steering feel, nice handling, very compliant ride. So you'd expect the GLK to have some of those attributes. Unfortunately, it really doesn't. Instantly, you'll notice the steering feel. You don't feel very connected with what the wheels are doing. It's very light. Also, the GLK kind of rocks side to side on uneven surfaces. In emergency situations, the car was ultimately secure with the standard stability control, but it wasn't really all that confident because there was a lot of body roll, and the stability control tended to kick in fairly late, allowing the car to slide out a little bit too much. On the plus side, inside the cabin, there really isn't that much noise. Wind noise, road noise, it's all pretty subdued. Something that's very nice is the engine hum. And really, there's not that much noise from the engine. It's very refined, and it's very responsive. The powertrain delivers a lot of power. This little sport utility is actually pretty quick. But that power comes at a price at the pump. Overall fuel economy was only 18 miles per gallon. The brakes performed well, and stopping distance was short. But the brake pedal, it felt a little bit touchy, which made it a little hard to stop smoothly. One of the reasons you might be interested in Mercedes-Benz GLK is because of utility. And here's the cargo area. It's not really that big. This still is a small SUV. So the area you get back here, it's not really any bigger than you might find in a smaller or mid-sized station wagon. Underneath the cargo floor, there are some kind of interesting features. One is this odd piece here, which actually is an expandable box, which is kind of over-engineered. It's actually branded as Mercedes-Benz, but it actually is kind of useful, throwing in the back if you want to put your groceries back there. So carrying cargo is one thing, but carrying people is also pretty important when you get a small SUV. And here the GLK, well, it kind of has a problem. And the issue is, first of all, getting into the rear, it's not very easy. The opening is very narrow, but more important is this door sill. It's really wide, and it's actually really steep. You step on it, and you wind up sliding down. In fact, I have a 5-year-old. This is one of the few cars that he can't even get up into. And once you're back here, if you're an adult, there's really not much room. Legroom, well, it's really tight. There's decent headroom, but the side support, it's lacking. The seat's really low. Fortunately, there's a lot more room here up front. And it's really nicely finished, too. The seats, well, they're not actually leather, but they look like it, and they're really nice. Perforated, stitched. Up front, there's lots of wood. There's chrome inside the glove box. It's really nice and soft. There's lots of features that help you get comfortable behind the wheel, too. The wheel, it's got tilt and telescope, and that's power. And there's power controls for both tilt and height of the seat cushion. Also typical of Mercedes is controls that are, well, a little bit confusing, a little bit odd. The radio, for instance, well, the controls are kind of spread out around the dashboard. You got a lot of controls here in the middle. There's also a knob down here between the seats. And the display, it's up here. Of course, it turn on the radio, it tells you from Mercedes-Benz, gives you a warning, of course, don't use it when there's traffic around. The tuning actually works really nicely. We like to be able to tune it just like an old-time stereo. So if you're expecting the GLK to give you the utility of an SUV and a driving experience of a Mercedes-Benz, you might be very disappointed. The interior, it's cramped, there's not much cargo room, and the ride and the handling, it's really nothing special.